Welcome back, guys. I'm John.
And I'm Joe, and we're
Crazy About Coffee.
Today, we just want to introduce ourselves as I'm a beginner coffee drinker.
I've been drinking coffee, at least what we would call good coffee, for probably the last 8 years or so. So, yeah.
And what we're going to do on this show is we're going to let you grow with us as we learn about coffee, how to make it right, how to get the best taste out of it possible. And today, we are just going to get it started off with an Ethiopian coffee called Tekamo Mekiso, and I got it off of TradeCoffee.com.
Cool.
And as we go and make this coffee, we're going to talk about our process and everything else we're doing.
Like something that's kind of fun is, so I've been into coffee for a few years, like I said, but you know what? I've never really messed around with Aero Press much at all. So I'm learning just like everybody else.
And I've been using the Aero Press for a long time, but I always put International Delights in my creamer. And it wasn't until I went across the street to Cimarron Roasters in Montrose, Colorado, where I tasted an Ethiopian coffee and it blew my mind.
So you have a similar story to me. So when I first got into started learning about coffee, I had an Ethiopia that absolutely blew my mind. And I was like, wait a second, I didn't know coffee could be like this, because I thought coffee was just like really bitter, dark, like basically over roasted, just burnt stuff, right? And of course you need to hit it with a ton of, man, that smells amazing.
Yes.
So of course you would need to hit it with a ton of sugar and creamer and all, like most people think.
Yeah.
Right? And so,
that's what I used to do.
Funny enough, it sounds like both of us had an Ethiopia that just kind of opened up our coffee minds.
Yeah.
And
to what coffee could be.
Yeah.
I never knew it, and then
that's cool.
Once I had it, I never wanted to go back. So if you're wanting to get off of creamers, taste an amazing Ethiopian coffee made the right way. Because what I've learned since then, John, is that you have to have the right temperatures.
Okay.
You have to have the right amounts.
Yep.
Like, I know you like to go with grams.
So what's your amount?
So I use 3 scoops of the Aero Press Traveler Scooper.
Joe.
Whatever that is.
We're gonna have viewers that want to know exact amount. They're trying to be scientific about this.
Well, how many grams
what
are in
kind
this?
of scooper is this? Where'd you get this
It's
from?
the Aero Press Traveler Scoop.
Okay, so at the very least, if people are using the Aero Press Traveler, then that scoop, this is somewhat scientific. 3 scoops, Joe says.
3 scoops.
Okay.
And I'm at 195 temperatures.
Okay.
On here, degrees. And the reason I'm at 195 is because we are at 6,000 feet sea level. And water boils a little faster once you get higher up into the atmosphere.
Okay.
Really, like you don't know that. Mr. Coffee Guy, you know this stuff. All right, just put this like this. All right.
This is cool for me because, like I said, I've never really messed with Aero Press much. I do have a timer. Let's see.
So let's put that on 2.5 minutes.
Okay.
So we're gonna wait for 2.5 minutes. It got grinded, and we're just gonna let this slurry kind of mix together at the 195 degrees, and we're gonna see what kind of coffee we get out of it.
Okay. And is this okay for Aero Press, like this little drip that's normal?
I believe so.
Okay.
I don't know.
Since I've never really used Aero Press much, then I'm not really sure what I'm looking at.
It's coming out coffee color.
This is to some degree somewhat similar to when you're doing a French press, right? And you're just letting it brew kind of in that French press. Well, this is Aero Press. Okay,
so the Aero Press is a lot cleaner, whereas you get all the grinds and everything
in the French
press. You don't get that with this. It's a nice clean cup of coffee.
Okay.
Because it has a paper filter in the bottom of it.
Got it.
Yeah. So we're gonna let this brew for another couple minutes.
Okay.
And as it brews, we would love for you guys to tell us. I have a 1, 2, 3 on here. It's really faded now. Okay. But I have no idea how many ounces of water the 1, 2, and 3 hold. So if you know how much that holds, please tell us in the comments because we would love to learn.
So Joe, we're not doing this completely scientific then, is what you're telling me?
No, we're not. No.
Uh-oh.
We're kind of guessing it. Just like most people probably would.
So this is good because as we progress, as we kind of evolve in this show, We'll probably get a little bit more strict precise
Yeah.
with our. Okay, fair
maybe.
enough.
But we're gonna try all kinds of stuff. Like we're gonna
Yeah,
try a
yeah.
Chemex because I heard that's really good.
Yeah, yeah.
We're gonna pour that. You know
Exactly.
that kind of
That's good
brewing.
stuff. Yeah.
And I know this kind of brewing. We're gonna use a kettle that boils instead of a kettle that's exact. Because this is exact.
Oh, just like on a stovetop
yeah.
kind of thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll just see what the difference is.
Yep.
Because I know from personal experience that if I let my boil roll too much, that coffee comes out kind of bitter. And I don't really know why.
It's almost like burning it a little bit.
But that's what we're gonna explore on the show. Is just
Okay.
we're gonna explore why the coffee does what it does and why it interacts differently with different things. This is a light roast, so I went right at boiling. Whereas, from what I hear, if you have a darker roast, because we have a darker coffee we'll have on the show, and you're supposed to be around like 185 degrees or something like that. So we're gonna
A little
see.
give and take, and then just kind of we'll figure out what we love, and maybe you guys just share at home with your
absolutely.
favorite brewing processes and methods.
Yeah, and be kind to us. We know we're doing stuff wrong, but we're gonna learn, and you're gonna learn with us, and together we will be crazy about
coffee. So we did what'd you say, 2.5 minutes?
2.5 minutes.
Okay.
I calculated the 11.5 seconds it took you to get the phone out, and for me
It
to
took me
ask
a while.
you.
Yeah.
To
I fumbled a little
get
bit
the timer, but I asked you kind of late too.
there. Yeah.
So,
But you
scientifically
accounted
in my head,
for it.
absolutely.
So we compensated. So we're right on.
I account for everything.
I mean, it's perfect.
Nothing is lost.
Yeah. So it's not scientific, but it's still really well done.
I just realized I'm brewing this in the cup that I drank out of. I'm sorry. Do you want me to brew you a different cup?
I mean,
Or do you want to share this? That's up to you. We're in the year of COVID.
oh yeah, it's the times of COVID,
So,
isn't it?
Um,
I guess that would be a bad example.
yeah, that would be a
On
bad
camera.
example. Do you still have some left from
I
last
have
time?
some. I have a little bit.
Okay, well I'm gonna make you
I have a little bit.
the Fernando from Peru.
Okay, so we'll do a yeah.
Okay, we'll do that.
We'll talk about each one's tasting notes.
For sure. So let me go ahead and tell you about this coffee all by myself. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
I think I'm drinking a little bit of that coffee
You are.
that we had made earlier.
Yeah, you
So-
definitely are.
I can still kind of join along.
It tastes exactly the same as it did a second ago. It's got
You know-
really nice floral notes on it.
Yeah, when you made this, I think the first thing that I thought was like, oh wow, a little bit of sweetness in there, and then you had mentioned I think like nuttiness to it, and we talked about like a toasted nut kind of presence there, right?
Yeah.
But if somebody that's never ever had coffee like this before is presented with this, I think it'll blow their socks off. I think they'll just be like, whoa, is this even coffee? I think they might
Right.
think you did something, like you made something
Yes.
that isn't coffee. It's like another drink.
Like they put a little sugar or honey or cinnamon or something in it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
it's a little candied.
I remember thinking it was like a burnt graham cracker
Oh yeah, that's a good
to
way
me.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's really good.
I like it a lot.
It's really good.
You know, maybe we should make this Fernando on another episode.
Okay, let's save it because I still have a little bit of coffee. So
Okay.
this has been fun.
It's been a lot of fun. It's a good first episode.
Yeah.
We're kind of fumbling a little bit. Bear with us, but we will get all of our stuff together.
Hey, I think it was smooth sailing, Joe.
Good.
I think it was good.
Awesome, dude.
It was great.
Well,
That was
I'm
great.
Joe,
And I'm John.
and we're
Crazy
About
About
Coffee.
Coffee.